Sunday. Welcome to the Sunday Sipper. I'm here, finally outside, because the weather is finally good. It is a little cold, a little chilly, but still great time outside. Still great weather. Now, there's a lot of things different about this Sunday Sipper. A, we're finally outside. B, in the spirit of transparency, this isn't coffee. It's Focus, which is my coffee replacement. And on that, I learned to look at other things, look into other things for a replacement for coffee from people smarter than me. And I only mention that because the topic for today is almost an add-on to the topic from last week. Last week was knowing to be a good student, knowing when to fall in and when to learn. But today, it's on being a good teacher. Now, every single one of us has something to teach, because whether or not we believe it, we are an expert in something. You've lived more than enough life by now to know more than enough about one or two particular subjects. And to you, they might not seem like subjects that are extremely important, or they might not seem like subjects that people will want to know about. But for everything that there is to know in the world, someone else wants to know it, and there has to be someone to teach it. This is a topic that someone laid in my head, and it was perfect, because I could think of several times in my past when I knew leaders whose thought process to keep them in positions of leadership and then themselves in positions of power, so to speak, was to be the bottleneck for that information. Because if you know something, that means everyone has to come to you. Everyone has to come to you to know this thing, to be able to get access to this. And at the time, it seemed like a really, really great idea. And it does put you in a great position, but it doesn't put you in the most optimal position. Because if you are, in fact, that person that knows everything about that, you're hurting everyone around you. Because with that, what happens when you're not around? Your team fails. So, you have to remember to take the time, and we're all guilty of it. I could tell you 1,000,006 situations where I look at a question that comes across my phone, or someone asks me, and the first response in my head was, why didn't you Google that? Fair enough. But there's a lot of things that aren't Googleable things, or they are Googleable, but it takes a little bit longer to find that information. We can teach each other to the point to where everyone knows as much as everyone else, or you at least have a grasp of that situation. Now, more often than not, most of us are even scared to ask a question, or we're embarrassed. Even though there's a lot of people who say there's no such thing as a dumb question, I know I'm not the only one when you will have a question, and it is a legitimate question, but because to us it seems like such a base level, such an entry level question, that we're embarrassed just to ask it, even though there's probably plenty of other people who want to know that information. So, instead, it's okay to be a know-it-all. It is part of the point. You know it all, so help everybody else know that too. Each of us have to take responsibility for the things that the people before us did not take responsibility for. If we want to know how to do our own taxes, then the people who already know probably should tell someone else. If you want to know how to balance your own money or to budget your own money, and you're the expert, don't take any shame in someone giving you a side eye in any of these really, really personal, really difficult subjects to ask a question about. It's one of the things that a lot of us are suffering in, a lack of information, and there's so many people who know so much that it's laughable that we're too good, too prideful in the knowledge of the things that we have to share that with someone else. And I know plenty of people who are know-it-alls, and it blows me away at the fact that they inspire me because they are not scared to share their knowledge. I look up to these people on that same thing because there's plenty of things that I do know, but that slight embarrassment of being a know-it-all. Don't be afraid to be a good teacher, to be a mentor. Just as it's our responsibility to learn, it's our responsibility to teach. As a human being, we are blessed with so many advantages, and we hold ourselves back. So before we continue to go forward, while we are making it a point to learn everything that is available and everything that's possible, we need to make sure that we're teaching as much as possible. There are people who came before us that knew knowledge that could have moved us so much further, so much faster, but they bottlenecked us. Let's work from here on out to just make it a pipeline. Going on this week, find out the thing that you're an expert in if you don't know, because you are. If you're over 20 years of age, you've got more than enough life experience in something to be an expert. So teach someone. Take someone under your wing. Be the mentor or the teacher that you need. Or you know what? Be the student long enough to be the teacher. Now, thank you for watching and for spending your time with me, for hearing me rant on something again. But thank you for anything that you take away from this, for any head nod that you have, for any disagreement that you have. Please let me know. That's what it's all about. My overall goal is always to be better so that I can help someone else be better. So, let's make it a point to be better together. Happy Sunday. Thanks for being here. Also, this is probably as close to being in my house as most of you will get.